Hi, thanks for joining me on Tech with RKM. Today's Azure story is one of those governance updates that most people will miss until it bites them. Azure Blueprints is being phased out. Phase 1 starts July 31st. That's 25 days from today. And if you have Blueprints running in production, and you probably do if you're in a regulated industry, you need to know exactly what's happening and when. We'll look at the 4-phase retirement timeline, why Microsoft's migration path is more painful than it looks, and the under-discussed policy critique this whole situation reveals about building on Azure Preview services. By the end, you'll understand why enterprises are being forced into a 2-service migration just to replace one service that never even reached general availability. Okay, let's dive in. Quick context. Azure Blueprints is Microsoft's governance service that lets you bundle resource templates, policy assignments, RBI key, and lifecycle management into a single versioned deployable artifact. Banks and healthcare organizations use it to say, here's our standard secure landing zone. It has these ARM templates, these policies, these role assignments. Deploy this blueprint to any subscription and the whole governance framework goes with it. Blueprints handled deny locking, assignment, life cycle, and versioning as a coherent package. Here's the twist. Azure Blueprints was released as public preview around 2019 and never left preview. 5+ years running production governance for banks, hospitals, and public sector organizations. Microsoft never gave it GA status, but it worked, so enterprises used it in production anyway. Now Microsoft is retiring it in 4 phases. 3 things to anchor on. 1, July 31st is the first hard date. After that, you cannot create new blueprint definitions. Existing ones keep working, but no new authoring. So if you've been planning to build new blueprints, you have until the end of July. 2, the 4-phase timeline runs into January 2027, July 31st, no new definitions, October 31st, existing definitions freeze and no new assignments allowed. December 31st, existing assignments freeze. January 31st, 2027, service fully retired and any non-exported definition gets permanently deleted. 3, the original retirement was July 11th, 2026. Microsoft extended it 7 months after customer pushback. So the current timeline is the extended timeline. Enterprises got more runway, but not indefinite. Let me walk through the phased impact in detail. Between now and July 31st, business as usual. You can create new blueprints, assign them, everything works. After July 31st, existing blueprints keep running, but you cannot author new definitions. If you needed to create a new landing zone template, you're now blocked. You have to use the replacement services or extend an existing blueprint. Between August and October 31st, existing blueprint definitions are still assignable to new subscriptions. So if your existing blueprint covers a new subscription onboarding pattern, you can still deploy. After October 31st, no new assignments allowed. Blueprints in use stay in use, but no new subscriptions get blueprints applied. Between November and December 31st, assignments in place keep running. Your production subscriptions with blueprints applied continue to enforce those blueprints. After December 31st, assignments freeze. Blueprints in place stay, but you can't modify them. January 31st, 2027, the service is fully retired. Any blueprint definition you haven't exported is permanently deleted. Any assignment enforcement stops. Your production governance framework goes away if you haven't migrated. So in the next few minutes, I'll cover the 2 service migration Microsoft is directing you into, the specific pain points of that migration, and the under-discussed policy lesson about Azure Preview services. Okay, the two-service migration Microsoft is directing you into. Blueprints did three things as one integrated package. It packaged ARM templates for deployment. It handled assignment lifecycle, including versioning, and it denied locked resources, so users couldn't modify what the blueprint deployed. The Microsoft replacement path splits those three responsibilities across two services. Azure deployment stacks handle assignment and lifecycle and deny locking. Template specs handle versioned storage of templates. To replace one blueprint, you now need to configure deployment stacks plus template specs plus wire them together into your assignment automation. That's a real engineering migration, not a rename. Estimated effort per blueprint is 1 to 3 engineer weeks, depending on complexity. If you have 20 blueprints in production, that's easily 4 to 6 months of engineering work. 3 specific pain points. Pain point 1, assignment tracking. Blueprints tracked which subscriptions had which blueprint version assigned. That was a first-class feature. Deployment stacks track deployments, but the multi-subscription version tracking is different and less centralized. You may need to build custom tooling to reconstruct the equivalent visibility. Pain point 2, deny locking behavior. Blueprints deny locking prevented modifications to resources deployed by the blueprint. Deployment stacks have deny locking, but the semantics differ slightly, particularly around what happens when a blueprint is unassigned. Behavior differences require careful testing. Pain point 3, versioning workflow. Blueprints had a first-class version model. Publish version 1, assign it, then publish version 2, upgrade some assignments to version 2 while leaving others on version 1. Template specs support versioning, but the assignment upgrade workflow requires custom orchestration, not built in. Now, the under-discussed policy lesson. This is the thread nobody in the mainstream press is writing about. Azure Blueprints was public preview for 5+ years. Microsoft made it clear it was preview, yet Microsoft never removed it from being usable in production, and enterprises used it in production because it was the best available option for coherent governance in Azure. Financial services regulators didn't blink at blueprints being in preview. Healthcare compliance teams accepted it. The government sector deployed it. Now Microsoft is retiring it, and the retirement path requires 2 services to replace one. That's a real cost to enterprises, and the enterprises have no recourse because they were technically building on a preview service. The lesson is, be more careful about running production workloads on Azure Preview services, even if the preview lasts years, even if the service works reliably, even if Microsoft doesn't publicly say the service is at risk. The preview status is Microsoft's escape hatch. When they decide to retire, you have limited leverage. 3 concrete moves this quarter. 1. Audit your preview dependencies. Any Azure service you use in production that's still in preview, list it out. Estimate migration effort if that service were retired tomorrow. Present the risk to your CIO. 2. If you have blueprints in production, start the deployment stacks plus template specs migration now. Don't wait until October or November. Complex migrations take time, and the December 31st cutoff will arrive sooner than you think. 3. When evaluating new Azure services, ask about the GA roadmap. If a service has been in preview for over 3 years, ask what triggers GA. If the answer is vague, budget for migration risk. For enterprises considering multi-cloud, specifically because of Azure retirement risk, this is a data point in that conversation. The AWS approach of shipping fewer services at faster GA cadence has different retirement risk than Azure ship many services and keep them in preview approach. Neither is objectively better, but they present different risks to enterprise architects. Quick recap. Azure Blueprints being phased out in 4 phases. July 31st, no new definitions. October 31st, no new assignments. December 31st, assignments freeze. January 31st, 2027, service fully retired and unexported definitions deleted. Migration path is 2 services, deployment stacks plus template specs. Real engineering effort per blueprint. And the underlying policy lesson is about the cost of running production on Azure Preview services. Tomorrow, we cover an Azure AI story. Claude Sonnet 5 went generally available on Microsoft Foundry last week, but European enterprises are locked out. Foundry EU Data Zone is listed as coming 2026 with no committed date, while AWS Bedrock and Google Vertex both offer EU data residency for Claude today. That's a rare case of Azure trailing on data residency for a third-party model. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Drop a comment with your favorite Azure preview service that turned out to be permanent. See you tomorrow.